There's a place where the world's silence has become its loudest betrayal, where lives are erased, not by natural disaster, but by design.
On this very day, 210 persons were slaughtered in one night, in less than 24 hours.
It's okay to mention that 100 people or 200 people have been killed in Yelewata, but it is not okay to allow the victims to tell their own story.
Our houses are burned, our food items are burned, our sleeping items are burned.
It is illegal to have weapons, but why are they having it? So if it is illegal, government should bounce on them to recover the weapons from them. And government has failed to do that.
On June 13th, 2025, in Yelewata, Benue State Nigeria, a Christian farming community became a killing field. Over 270 Christians were massacred, many of them burned alive. Families, fathers, mothers, children, all slaughtered for one reason: their faith in Jesus Christ. This is not random violence. This is an organized, systematic genocide against Christians. I'm Judd Saul, the founder and director of Equipping the Persecuted, a mission dedicated to actually helping Christians on the ground in Nigeria. This is important because most people have never heard this story. They've been told it's just tribal violence or farmers and herders. But this is a lie. This is a targeted, systemic, intentional attack against Christians. This is Christian genocide.
Benue has been involved in the kind of crisis, conflict, and it is not communal. It is actually a crisis of identity where Muslim Fulanis from other parts of Africa, Mali, Chad Republic, Cameroon, Niger, troop into Nigeria on the invitation of their own brothers who are Fulanis to come to Benue, kill the indigenous, who are largely Christians.
The most prominent of the issues of persecution of Christians is the attacks that are continually waged on Christian communities, particularly in the states of Benue and Plateau. Now, these two have been in the front burner or the epicenter of these terror attacks for their strategic position in the central region of Nigeria.
Benue is being controlled by a Christian. Plateau is being controlled by a Christian governor. Politically, the control of these states are by the Christian, and that is what they don't want. Nasarawa has no issue because it's being controlled by a Muslim.
And also the fact that Benue stands as the breadbasket of Nigeria, producing the vast majority of the food crops that are consumed across Nigeria and even beyond. And Plateau State, on its own right, stands as the headquarters of Christianity. Looking back in history, there were instances or attempts by the former Fulani jihadists, including Usman Danfodio, to capture these states. But those attempts failed, and it looks like we are having a resurgence of that agenda. Descendants of Usman Danfodio, who are members of the Fulani ethnicity, to ensure that Plateau State is turned to an Islamic empire. Likewise, the breadbasket of Nigeria turning into a caliphate. But the overall objective is to impose a caliphate governed by extremist ideologies, governed by Sharia in Africa's most populous country.
But here's the truth. the Nigerian government knew, the military knew. They were warned weeks in advance of an attack that was going to take place in Yelewata, and they sat back and did nothing. They stood by and did nothing. Not only did they fail to stop it, they stood by and watched.
That very day, it was raining. So Fulani herdsmen, they invaded the community and claimed so many lives.
Around 12 midnight, we started having calls from Yelwata that the Fulanis have come and they are killing, burning.
Friday night, I was sleeping in my house. See my house there. I come here, they shoot gun. Later, they come, they break this house. Where my brother is sleeping here with his children. Thereby, they come, they kill people. They were breaking the house. Say, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Later, they go down. They enter inside, they kill people that side as well. They started shooting after the Allahu Akbar. Burning houses, burning people in the houses, killing them, marching them. In fact, it was a sad news.
Ikwaneva facing higher, still a boundary. Kayo, I say, do in the at you before you have a via, we look in the we want. So you, I say, do a say, Gumatsan at Timbiji. I love it, Bavizuayo, Gaya, Adogave de. So room lab vesting rumba, o Montana, Yake 40 something, 30 something. So you're blachi in that we do again.
Nah, you but now we on the hakba, we do it. So, Mamma, I am do a hakbala. So, Yashi Baba, I'm here. One banana news, so Yaman news, so I young day one do a shot. Who do not my town, but he did by him. She died, Bam Guniraya. Young Mokman, no one do a so far, ya, baby. Good, I have a washing who walk up across the bar. I will you so young bit town. Now, my tenor of my yard, the back room of Gunira. So, my good bear, my house, my nadi. So, you have a nadi, you have a baby gray and me. I wonder what's where I do a valak, but she was a nadi, chichavan at the hammer.
No, that Yelwata is a market where this neighboring settlement, they do come there and exchange, buy things and then sell goods and then go. But because of this Fulani insecurity of a thing, they now move from their villages. Then they settle at that Yelwata, which are the market square.
Now, this attack is very significant in that it highlights the vulnerability of Christian residents, especially given that you had residents who had been displaced, who had been attacked, most of whom had lost their breadwinners, most of whom had lost, their families and entire livelihoods, seeking shelter in this community that was among the few surviving communities. And then you had these villagers camping in this community, hoping that the presence of a small unit of army and police would provide some respite and protection. But again, when this attack was launched, somehow the terrorists apparently acting on perhaps the collaboration, information apparently or possibly shared by sources within the security architecture, like the Chief of Defense Staff did allude to, made sure to flank the military base and as well the police station that is located on the edge of the community, while another group focused on burning these helpless and defenseless Christians in the makeshift shelters.
I'm particular about one man, Iyomba. He lost his wife and about 5 of his children, and then 10 houses belonging to him was burnt down. The other man lost 35 of his family household. I'm talking of Tazar Dende Aloysius. He's a Catholic. He lost 35 members of his household. His brother's wife, his brother's sons, two of his brother's sons, and their children, all of them, in one flat, were macheted, slashed, cut to pieces, and then locked up in their houses, in their flat, doused with gasoline, and then burnt to ashes.
Moya miya ji ma ve wol. Am ya ji ma ve na ya. Ba gwemba ba bi chiri ha hunda ya ma. Modi ya moya. Mye bes na mba wane ke jumi. Ntuma solo hango yo na ha. Mam to speaker mba ve simba. Mve kishi. Mto peri ya sinyola miye sitaya. Mam go mam chi hati. Mam to mam rugu. Na buba buwayo kiyo ne zan. Buwayo kwa hii la vi do it. Shivi de shivinyo, shivi wayo. Shivi do it. Shivinyo lo kwa tani ama. Yamba duwe ma vi hafu la yushu. Ma vi kandu usu. Namba ngwa pe yam yera yu. Mbu pera chupu ya mam negru usu. Mam kiri mom do it. Yani ve loba. Kiyo hangere shini. Manu kesengere mra hayo. Nukesengere mra hayo vemba ya chi. Ukpa ku usu ya. Boda se duwe ku won. Se da kpe ku won. Ma yam kare ya ma. Vichi hamu. Na ma no sra ma ya hide ma da taki yoshun. Ukwa sine ma yeve se ma de ko mo ma ya si yeve si yi. Ba mi yam to me e mo me be kaya. Si duwe chicha ke yamba wala mo gana gbana la benda ye hu duwe yamba gweve won ya hide di taku sine ma pe te nya se faje vi lu ke won la faje mduwe wasipa e se vinda ku uhiya ne ya ugbola ale on pari oro mi ya na nzaro on pari oro mi ge ya ko na nya se duwe na ki yo shun la ba tumbu wa ma nwa ya pe wa na mo la ka yira tine onduna ngula kwa shikwe umomla kayira e geble ngula kwa kwe umola kayira e vete ngula kwa kwe awa ne kayira tine cletus mbala mi eshiando ngula kwa kwe.
Now, a week after we went there, we discovered that 400 houses were burnt down. Now, as we were checking on these houses, we were going one after the other into these houses. Charred bones that had been burnt. Rice, storage, drainage has been burnt into ashes. You could see blood stain on the ground, blood splattered on the wall. It reek of death. The smell is so acrid. You could hear smell of burnt bones, flesh, blood, rice, all mingled together. 1 week after this carnage, smoke is still coming out of some of these houses.
I was kind of depressed because seeing people born beyond their recognition it was a sad event. So I only went there to find a way to move my sisters and her husband, the little remnants, so that will come out, will do a sign of sin and then bury again. So it was a very sad movement.
Oya wayange ipana pa kishop. Ya wa bechicha momo yanga kwati ya do umake.
So my people that were got they killed up to 18 in my village. And some were my relations, blood relations. And they killed them about 6. My mother, who is an aged woman, was also affected because when I got the news to her, she had heart attack, and that leads to her death. It was yesterday that I went and deposited the corpse in the hospital.
The Nigerian authority had every chance and every opportunity to reinforce its troops in that community and ensure that the defenseless villagers are given protection, because
anytime those people are coming, they normally even give information that we must attack.
the attack on the peaceful community of Yelewata was planned more than 3 weeks in advance, and our team at Truth Nigeria had advanced knowledge of that because, of our networks and intelligence capacity. We collected information regarding plots to launch attacks in this community or in communities bordering Nasarawa and Benue, and disseminated that information, gave advance warning of those attacks to the police, the DSS, the army, and also civil authorities, with the hope that something would be done.
They consistently say they are coming, and the government was aware that these people are coming, but no action was taken. The Yelwata there was on the video, on social media everywhere, that these people have left Kadareko, they are coming to attack. Government was aware. In fact, even the attack, when the attack was on, the attack was more than 5 hours. And from Makonde here to Yelwata is less than 30 minutes drive.
It is planned, they map out the area, and according to what they told me, is they came in 3 batches. They came in 3 batches and they used different flanks. They avoided the military base, and then they came by the west, and then surrounded the village, and they started shooting. They normally come anything 10 o'clock, and after operating, they stop anything 2. That is how it is. All my experiences, they start by 10, 11, 12, 1. Once it is 2, they don't operate again.
When the attack was on, the military were informed, the police were informed, government was informed, but nobody took any action. They did their act for more than 4 or 5 hours and left unhurt. So government is not helping us.
And that is what underscores, like I said, the vulnerability of Christian residents in the middle belt of Nigeria.
This is not just about Yelewata. This is Nigeria's war against its own Christians. A war the world refuses to name. A war the world refuses to acknowledge.
The question is, do the Nigerian authorities know where these terrorists are coming from? Yes. Do they know where, when they even launch the attacks or when they are planning the attacks? Of course, by the fact that we give advanced knowledge. And of course, by our interactions with some peaceful and honest members of the security architecture, yes, they know. They have the intelligence that tells them that, yes, these things are about to happen. But what happens? They never act. Instead, they come after people like us, whistleblowers like us, truth tellers like us, who are simply doing our bit to draw attention to the attacks, to draw attention to the violations, and to ensure that something is done, if not locally, at the international level to protect citizens and to guarantee the safety of humanity generally and religious freedom in Africa's most populous country.
Nigeria remains the deadliest country on earth to follow Jesus Christ. 90% of Christian persecution deaths worldwide have occurred in Nigeria over the last 5 years. 3,100 Christians have been killed since January 2025. 2,830 abducted. Over 3.3 million Christians have been displaced, driven from their villages and removed from their homes. And those are just the ones that we know of. There's more that are staying silent, living in fear.
It damages is enormous because, number one, those that survive it, they don't have a place to lay their head. They don't have house. They don't have food. They can't go to farm. So multiple trauma going on their head. So, and like they wrote to us yesterday, they need food. In fact, some said specifically, we help them with the drugs, but they need food so that the drugs will be effective. And they are taking the drugs without food and they're having side effects. So they need food.
Some people are here, they can't afford 1 kobo. Even to bury my mother now. If people don't support me, it will be a serious issue. Because the first target It is the place where I will go and bury her now that there is crisis. So I have to deposit it in the hospital. And depositing it, it involves money. When time comes for me to bury her, they will be asking for the money that I should pay the mortuary bill. All these things are involvement. Getting a casket because she was not born. So I may find a way to at least put her in a casket so that we'll bury her. And all these things involves financial implication.
Life in the camp is not easy with me because I have my personal house that I'm sleeping in. So before, but now, as in destroy the whole thing, I'm sleeping on the mat. To eat sometimes is 0 meal a day with my children.
Camp nesi bahe ya ka yomba ka benase kwa ya mesi ya ka nasi guys ka pokasito majira.
Now we are kind of hand to mouth, so it's not just easy. Like you see in my house here, I have about 15 kids, which are not mine, which are their relative. In fact, 2 days ago, I have to reduce because we were here about 20 something. And look, I have not even completed my house, so where to stay is very difficult. So I have reduced some, and having 20 or 15 people in the house, you know, the kind of food consumption it will be.
This is the war on Christians in Nigeria. In the ashes of Yelewata, survivors rebuild, they mourn, they remember, they still hope. But the killing has not stopped. Across Nigeria, churches burn, villages are emptied, families are torn apart, and the world remains silent.
The world is not responding enough, and that is why they keep on perpetuating this crime. You see, the Nigerian government is also hiding the facts. The Nigerian government is letting the world know that this is just a communal clash. But a communal clash is when two brothers are fighting. It's when two tribes or very neighbors that have lived together in the same community are fighting. But this very clash involves a header or a heading community, and they are armed with AK-49. And then they come to overwhelm or storm and then slaughter innocent people, the Kajis, the Kadaras, the Idomas, the thieves, who are not armed.
The plan of the terrorists is not just to take Nigeria or to take Plateau State or central Nigeria, but to take the whole of Nigeria. Now, taking the whole of Nigeria is very central to capturing the whole of the African continent, because Nigeria, of course, is the largest black country in the whole world. And it is one of the richest, you know, in terms of mineral deposits. So imagine now that the terrorists, without even having a foothold of, you know, the mineral deposits in Nigeria, they are able to acquire anti-aircraft artilleries. They are able to acquire heavy-duty machine guns, you know, rocket launchers, and even drones with which they are able to take out entire communities. Imagine what they can achieve by the time they get hold of Plateau State with all its vast mineral deposits, the tin, the columbide, uranium. They are able to capture the whole of Kaduna State with all of its mineral resources. They're able to capture the whole of Niger State with all of its gold, you know, and diamonds. They're able to capture the whole of course, they're even pushing to the oil-rich south of Nigeria. By the time they get hold of all of these resources, what warhead can they not acquire? What missile can they not acquire? What nuke can they not acquire? What ship can they not acquire? What battle tanks can they not acquire? And what that essentially means is that with that, they will be able to launch attacks as far as the United States. And that means another 9/11 is possible.
We cannot stay silent. This story must be told. That's why we're calling on you. We're also calling on the U.S. government and the international community to stop buying the false narrative of tribal violence and climate change as the reasons Christians are being killed.
When we heard about the attacks that destroy a lot of lives and property, as usual, based on our policies, within 48 hours, we should respond to it. So we quickly put our medical teams and we send them to Makurdi and we help those that are in North Bank IDP. Then we went to the international market, IDP Kamakodi. And then after that, we started going to the hospitals. We'll help in Ayati, we'll help in Naka, so the IDP comes there, Adoka, Toby, and the Makodi, North Banks. When we come to Kaduna, virtually all the communities in southern Kaduna that have been attacked group in there is the Kajuru, is the Zango Katab, is the Kaura, Chiku, Kachia, and in Plateau, we're talking about the Mango, Rion, Miango, Bokos, all the places that have been attacked of India. In Nasara, we have Kutara IDP that have built school there. And other areas, FCT, Abuja, we have Wasa IDP that have helped. So we're talking about over 500,000 people that benefited from equipping the needy directly. We're not talking about indirectly. And we have widows that consistently receive help from us, some monthly, some quarterly, some yearly.
It's time we quit being naive and look at the situation for what it is and call it for what it is. A genocide against Christians perpetrated by radical Islamic terrorists from the Fulani tribe. We cannot sit idly by and ignore this anymore. It is time for action. It is time for us to wake up. It is time for us to come to the aid of the innocent in Nigeria. Will you join us? Share this film, share this documentary with everybody you know. If you'd like to help persecuted Christians on the ground, visit our website and partner with our organization at equippingthepersecuted.org. We're an organization that's actually on the ground getting things done. Not just putting a Band-Aid on the situation and not just humanitarian aid, our mission is to prevent the persecution. And we encourage you to get behind us, but most of all, we encourage the U.S. government, the international community to get involved and intervene now. You can help us fight back now. Visit equippingthepersecuted.org to stand with us, support the survivors, and be part of this mission and save lives. Take action and be part of the solution. Because if the world keeps looking away, who will be left to speak? How many more thousands are going to die because of our inaction? Let's put a stop to this today. The time to act is now. Please join me.